Hi friends, I am Robert.
And I am Katie.
And this is KRCompares. Last time I was Italian, so this time I was French.
Oh gosh, you probably just alienated 2 people that may have watched this.
You know.
You never know.
Of the 6 people that probably actively watch this,
2 of them.
2 of them gone, ruined it.
Yeah.
How's it going, Katie?
Pretty good. I'm a little tired, but
Or are you not tired? That's a lie, because April Fool's Day. Today's April Fool's Day. When we're filming, but not when you're watching this. I guess you could be watching this April Fool's Day, but not April Fool's 2025 or any year previous. Unless time travel's been invented?
Hopefully not.
Really?
There's too much complications.
Forward. It's true. What are we doing today?
We are
doing what?
Trying out some... Technically these things are slightly different, but
what are they? What
so we have a fruit spread and then we have some preserves.
Well, we also have this bonus one, but we've already cracked these ones open previously. Oh, this is also preserves.
Yes.
These, we'll address why these are a little different, but okay. So
really, you may be asking yourself, why are they trying this out? It is purely, it's not because we want to eat condiments or whatever you would call these.
No, really? Because I thought next week is going to be our mustard episode.
No. We have a purely selfish reason for trying this out, and that is because we're making our own wedding cake, and we need to know how, which of these kinds of potential fillings would work the best.
And Katie is doing you a favor, because I suggested this be 2 separate episodes, and she decided, no, that's a bad idea. Let's just do it as one episode, even though they're 2 different flavors.
It doesn't really matter, because that is purely about, your preference as far as what you like.
No, that's true.
But we want to know for texture, sweetness.
And honestly, we'll probably use both of these in the wedding. So the wedding cake we're planning to make is actually a rainbow cookie cake. Or it's a rainbow cookies, like the Italian style rainbow cookies, red, white, green, almond paste, almond extract, and layered between that is going to be some kind of preserved jam jelly thing.
Yes. And
you're going to tell us later what the difference between those is. And normally, and I keep screwing this up, I've been screwing this up for the past 3 weeks, it's either apricot or raspberry. Not strawberry. I keep saying strawberry. It's raspberry. So either raspberry or apricot. So we actually
need something that's a little bit tart, I think, to offset some of the sweetness of the cookie. Or
I agree.
The cake.
So, and we tried a recipe and it worked out quite well. And we just grabbed 2 of the cheapest ones previous. We grabbed the Private Selection apricot preserves and the same, but in the raspberry. And we actually used the raspberry for it. We actually haven't tried this one. I mean, I think we sampled it. And I don't remember what it tastes like. But we put this in the cakes, cookies, whatever. And it came out quite well. Overall, it came out pretty great.
Well. But I mean, the only reason we picked that was because we needed a filling. And we were mostly just testing out
the actual
cake itself.
Right. So we learned a few things about that cake when we tried it. And maybe eventually we'll get to having that recipe as a video or something later on. But, the wedding is more than 6 months off at this point. So we've got a lot of time to practice. So we're trying to find now, narrowing down the best jellies, jams, preserves, whatever, to go in it. Okay, so where do you want to take this? You're the jam master, or wait, you're the jelly. Oh, there's a lot of jokes in here. Let's jam, and you can tell me
what the difference is between jelly, jams, preserves, and spreads.
Well, you spread them all, I assume.
You do. However, so we don't have jelly because it's just not something I usually gravitate towards.
So what is jelly?
So jelly is made from just the fruit juice of whatever you're making. So that's why I think a lot of times you see grape jelly. So
it's just from the juice?
Mm-hmm. So it's
that
juice and sugar.
I assume.
It does.
Oh, but also sweeter?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, carry on.
So you have that, and you have, jam is kind of in between jelly and preserves.
Okay, so you go from jelly, which is from the juice, sweet, and sugary.
And jam's supposedly mashed fruit that's cooked.
Okay.
So you may have some it'll be a little bit chunkier, but it's not like you have the skins or the seeds or something like that. So it's kind of an in-between.
They remove the seeds?
Yeah.
Okay, and then preserves include the seeds.
Then preserves usually include the skin, the seeds. You have more of the whole fruit in there, so it's a lot, more textured.
Interesting.
And then there's spreads, but I don't
Preserve-
think there's technically like an FDA definition of spread, but it's not chunkier, but it's like more full bodied than a jelly. So supposedly takes less sugar to make in how they make it.
In what? The
Spread.
The spreads. Okay. Interesting. So there is,
So-
but that's more like a side difference, some kind of weird diagonal than necessarily a direct like jelly.
So I would
to
say
jam
spreads
to-
are probably a little bit closer maybe to preserves, but it has less sugar, supposedly.
I'd be willing to try that. I mean, but already I can tell just on that description alone, preserves seem to be the more interesting thing. Okay. So we've got 2, and I guess technically 3 raspberry, 2 or 3 apricot. Now, the other reason why I want to make a distinction with these being a little bit different is these were both, because we opened both of these, they were actually in the fridge.
Yes.
So they're cold. So they're going to taste possibly a little bit different and probably a little more subdued. We've noticed when we do try things hot versus cold versus whatever, cold tends to bring the flavor down just a hair. So, admittedly though, when we have the rainbow cookies, they probably will be cold or slightly on the colder side.
Well, yeah, because you have to refrigerate it.
Exactly. So anyway, so these are really more of a side grade, and not to mention like this is the Kroger brand private selection.
I think like they have
And
2 sets of things.
They actually did have 2 sets. So, and really,
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, we don't care about Kroger. We really don't. They did have 2 separate ones. They private selected did some other one too.
You just go Kroger.
Just Kroger brand. Yeah. So honestly, they don't do well. These were actually okay, based on trying them by themselves.
How much can you mess up though when it's like mostly sugar?
It's true.
So
I feel like we group them by flavor.
correct.
Okay. Which flavor do you want to start with?
I guess raspberry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what I think we'll do is we'll talk about each of the brands.
Okay.
And we'll cut around like we do, like I've gotten used to doing at this point.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. We'll see you all in just a... Okay, first things first. Kroger, what do we know?
Nothing. I mean,
Easy.
it's a mega corporation.
All right, what do you want to start with?
Bon
What is this?
Bon maman.
Bon maman. Okay.
Literally translates to like good mom or good mum.
That makes a lot of sense. What is that, Spanish?
You're joking.
A little bit.
Okay. So clearly it is French. It's from a French company from, I believe, the southwestern part.
I was going to say French from France. Yeah, obviously.
So they're now owned by, I think it's called Aptos or something, which is a French multinational food and dairy type of company.
Of course, because they can't just...
Well, no, because, you know, this global economy, is there such a thing as totally independent? Who knows?
Okay, so how are they?
So they've been around since 1979. They have 25 different flavors, mostly of preserves and I think jams. And then they also recently got, and by recent, I don't know if it's been like the last year or maybe 2 years, they have also started making kind of, not Nutella, but something kind of like that, where it's like a nut spread.
Is it a hazelnut chocolate spread thing?
I believe so.
Honestly, it might be better.
I would try it.
I would try it. I would compare it to...
I didn't see it in the store, but maybe. They have like you mean if you're interested in any of that stuff, you can order it online. They also have lemon curd and other kinds of things.
What's a lemon curd?
That's a different episode.
So, I like the packaging. I like the glass. I like the little ridges, whatever. Also, I really like the top of this. It makes me think of picnic.
Gingham.
What?
So the pattern is called gingham.
Gangham?
No, not like gingham.
Spell that.
I think it's Gingham.
So like Gangnam style.
No.
Jelly Gangnam style. I'm sorry. Okay. But I didn't know it was I just figured it was like a checkerboard pattern that they do in like picnic tables and Italian restaurants.
Yeah, it's supposed to be kind of harkening back to
the days when we went outside. And...
Yeah, it's provincial and it's supposed to be based on like simple ingredients and family kind of recipes. Now,
we also have Crofters. Wait, was that everything about
that's
Good Mom?
Yes.
Okay. So what about Crofters? Is this the one that was made by Laura?
Laura Croft, yes.
Yes.
No, it was made by a German couple that had moved to Ontario, Canada, so it's Canadian.
Okay.
It has been around since 1989. From its inception, it's always been organic. Funny enough, I guess the FDA didn't have like a actual like definition or like parameters for what is organic until like 2000 or something.
Okay.
Regardless, they are a family-owned brand. They have a lot of information actually on their website. I actually took like an entire page of notes.
You did, yeah.
I'm not going to like reiterate any, most of it because you literally can just go on their website. It's really interesting.
Okay.
But they're all about like knowing where your food comes from. So on their website, you can actually like pick whatever product you're trying to, like if you're like, hey, I wonder where my raspberries come from. It could probably come from like China, Serbia. Like they'll actually show you like where they source their fruit from. Like
just a country or like specifically like, hey, from this farm?
Well, I mean, maybe if you asked about that, but no, it just says kind of where they're sourced.
If you say like, hey, where the raspberry come from? Like China! And like that doesn't narrow things down a lot, really.
Not really, but it's interesting that they have that. They have, they test for a slew of different kinds of preservatives or like not preservatives, you call them?
I don't. Viruses, diseases?
No, pesticides.
There you go.
That's the word.
That's what happens. If it tests positive, they say, hey, just so you know, this is full of pesticides.
Then they'll be like, then we can't use it.
Oh, crazy. So they just don't just test for it. They test for it and then remove them from the batch. Okay.
What else? So their cute little bear mascot. You can tell it's at the end of a work day. So he's been around since 2010.
What's his name?
I don't actually have a name. It's just Bear because they're Canadians. The whole point is that, there's a lot of bears in Canada.
Are there?
Number one, supposedly.
I don't know.
Number two, they know how to pick the best berries.
Although that's true. Did you ever see that video, or like whatever Instagram, some video of a bear that they were using honey to testing different honeys on a bear?
No, I haven't seen
There's a guy, they had like a big picnic table with all different kinds of honeys sourced from different places, and they had a bear in the middle of the night would come and take the honey, and he would always gravitate towards like the honey that was like the freshest, untouched basically, like literally just honey that plopped down versus anything that had flavor, additives, anything, which would go like as it got worse and worse, he would just get one after another. He would bounce between the ones. Yeah, so they do know.
Scientifically proven.
There you go.
And their name Crofter actually comes from, it's a noun for someone who rents and like runs a farm.
Oh, I thought that would have been their last name, but I guess that's
no, because their name was like it was German. It's German.
Das Boot.
I wrote it down. Wait. Oh, I should know this. Latka.
Why would you know that?
Because it makes me think of latkes. Never mind.
All right, so this one says it's 33% less sugar than a preserve, which is not accurate because it's actually about 50% less sugar than this.
Well, that could just mean that specific brand.
No, it's true. But it says on average less than a preserve. But
they also use cane sugar, organic cane sugar, and they are vegan. So sometimes we've only known this for, or at least me personally, I never knew that not all sugar, especially in the U.S., is technically vegan because they like mix it and to make it like polished or like white or whatever. I don't know, whatever they do. They use bone char. So not all sugar is vegan.
Weird. I have that reminds me, what was the other one? Someone was talking about they bought red pistachios the other day, and I was like, I haven't seen red pistachios forever. Do you remember those? Do you remember red pistachios?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I thought they were dyed.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so why were we ever doing to hide imperfections?
That's
I don't think anybody cared.
I'd rather just have
just give me natural at that point. Anyway, so this one has organic seedless raspberry puree, cane sugar, pectin solution, water, apple pectin, ascorbic acid, vitamin C, citric acid. This one has raspberry sugar, brown cane sugar, concentrated lemon juice, fruit pectin, produced by Oh, that's it. Okay, so there's actually not a lot in these.
Sure.
And I'm curious about this one here. Raspberries, cane sugar, pectin, citric acid.
Okay.
I mean,
and that's why we didn't absolutely hate it.
Go figure. Okay, so that's all the basic information on it, right?
Pretty much.
And then you'll give us fun facts.
Go to their website and yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get to cracking these open, and we're gonna have them on little petit toasts. Everything is super fresh today, except the one that's German. But you can do a German accent. Go!
But it's in Ontario, so...
Well, then do a Canadian accent. Tell us that we're going to our next commercial break in a Canadian accent.
Can't do that. We're going to our next commercial break in a Canadian accent. They don't have that strong of an accent unless you're, like, in certain places. Okay, so the crofter is just an important thing to know. Once you open it up, you refrigerate it, and then you have to use it within 30 days.
Supposedly.
It says so on the thingy.
Oh, no, I know, but it says it, but allegedly, but that's... We're going to be using that well after 30 days.
Fine. Well, yeah. Use at your own risk after 30 days.
Okay. Okay.
But I think that has something to do with it has a greater chance of spoilage because it has less sugar, which would have helped it preserve.
And that makes sense. I mean, this looks like jelly. Jam, whatever you want to call it. Preserve, whatever. Smells fine.
You're going to have to, like, keep wiping it off.
I am. I should get another knife. This one looks like a candle to me, though.
Yeah, because it's quite smooth.
It is really smooth. Kind of waxy looking. Okay,
like,
let me go get
uniform.
Another.
This other one, obviously, the Bon Maman has, you can already see that there are seeds in it, which makes sense because it is a preserve.
Okay. Well, the other Kroger one's preserve, right? So, in this case.
Sure.
Okay.
I forgot to open up the Kroger one.
I mean, it's already kind of open. Okay, so we got this one. Now, did it smell like anything interesting to you?
I didn't know. I got distracted by the...
They smell the same to me. Oh, this one's like... Oh, this one's weird.
Well, it's supposed to help spread it. That's why it's called a spread, because it's...
Well, this one... Oh, it is a spread.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought they were all preserved. Never mind.
No.
Okay. I see. Alright, it's going to be really messy.
This one smells actually really sweet.
Does it smell sweet to you?
Yeah, like sweet and tart. Like, it smells like fruit.
Huh.
This one doesn't really smell that
This
strongly.
one just smells like sugar.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so what are we starting with? KRCompares, why not?
Okay.
Okay. So, I see. So this is why we're talking about spreads, because this is...
Literally a spread.
Literally a spread. I mean, it's probably spreads easily, but these toasts are actually really small.
Oh, that's a lot.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
Look at this. Look how much, like, dollop that is.
Well, what do you want from me? These are the smallest toasts.
You know what's funny, though?
Do you want to swap?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I like
What's
how
funny?
jiggly
What's funny,
it
though?
is.
You like how jiggly it is?
Yeah. If you...
Make sure you get the actual flavor of this, not just getting the toast.
Yes.
That's good. It's not overly sweet or tart. I mean, it's sweet, for sure. But not overly so. Okay. There's a little bit of tartness there.
It tastes like a raspberry.
It does taste like a raspberry. Okay. The texture is something weird. I like the chunks, and I like the look of the preserve, I think, just aesthetically.
Mm-hmm. If you're putting it in a cake, though, would you want it to be more uniform?
I guess it doesn't... Well, it doesn't really matter to me, because you're not going to see it no matter what.
Okay.
All right, so here we've got the crofters. I bet it's a lot sweeter. Way more sugary. Interesting.
Can you taste the fruit?
I think so. Can you? I mean, there's a hint of tartness. This is like a little more tart, a little less sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like that.
Which I like. I think I'm gravitating more towards like a tartar.
Like, you want like a tartar sauce or something for a cake?
No, that's gross.
Or what I guess
like I would want something that's a little more tart because you have a lot of sugar already in.
We do have it's a lot of sugar, actually. So this is kind of a sort of pseudo bonus because I didn't feel like buying another one of these because there's no reason to.
This one doesn't have like a lot of chunks or anything. I think like.
I mean, it's got some. It's kind of bumpy, but it's also this one's been sitting in the fridge open for a little while.
True.
So again, this is why we're not calling this an official part of this. I think.
This is just us convincing ourselves that we definitely don't want this one.
This is true. Yeah.
For our
although it wasn't bad when we had it initially. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Now that I've compared it to the other two, it's way worse.
It's very sweet.
It's way worse. Wow. That's based. Yeah. Okay. It's one of the things when we had it by ourselves with the cake, it was fine.
But even you commented
It was
that
pretty sweet.
it was very sweet.
Okay. Interesting. First impressions? Crofters?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, just in general, like, would you put it up? Peanut butter jelly sandwich?
Yeah.
Crofters?
Yes.
Rainbow cookie cake?
Crofters.
Okay. Interesting.
I
mean, this is bad,
but I would think, like, if I'm just having, like, an English muffin, maybe it's just, like butter and jam, maybe the bon moment.
If you want more sweetness?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I like the texture of it, and I'm just thinking, like, if you're having, like, an English muffin, you're usually having it for the texture as well, with, like, the nooks and crannies.
Maybe this is the easiest way to do it.
That would be
Maybe we could just dunk them.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do that in the next one. Which we'll do after this commercial break from, actually, interesting.
But another interesting thing about Crofters,
Okay.
they're very much into giving back to, like, communities and stuff, so they do a lot of stuff for, like, participating in foundations and
Oh, that's nice.
and also in ecological efforts. So they have their own, like they're really into, like, recycling. Like, this obviously is, like, fully able to be recycled, and then, like,
I feel
packaging.
bad, like, so as people in general, but also particularly as Americans, I think we are extra wasteful, and
For
I
sure.
hate throwing out, like, glass. I hate, like, any booze bottles. I hate throwing. Now, that's not
You
overly
could
dangerous.
actually even make this into, like, a cup.
No, and I'm super on board with hanging on to glass. Glass is awesome, and we should be using way more glass. I hate that we're switching over to plastic. But even, like, alcohol bottles, whatever, if they get thrown into the ocean, over time they do actually dull down. They become sea glass in a kind of weird way, which is not so bad. It's not like those, like, exfoliating body washes are actually super dangerous to the environment. Eggs. Fish will think those little beads inside are eggs, and they actually try to eat them, and then they die.
Oh, it's so sad.
It's super sad.
Does that remind you of
Nothing?
No, there was, like, this Neutrogena, like, face wash that had those little beads, and
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
like, really popular in, like, the early 2000s.
Was it? I do.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I
In the
thought
early
your
2000s, I
sister
wasn't
or
using
something.
Neutrogena
Okay,
face washes.
I don't know.
Okay, so next up we have the Good Mommy. What? It doesn't look any different. It doesn't smell like anything. Does it smell like anything to you? I don't smell anything at all.
No.
Literally nothing.
And the whole point.
Oh, it's kind of like, it's got like a skin on it. It's kind of, like, thick.
Mm.
What? Does any of that smell like anything to you? I'll take your word
That
for
just
it.
smells like.
Sounds like it smells like?
No, I don't think
It smells like it has
apricot
sounds.
really
Apricot doesn't
smells like
smell like
anything in particular.
Yeah, go ahead and dunk. I guess. So this is easier than just
So,
dirty
fun
17.
fact: the majority of apricot in the world comes from Turkey.
Turkeys lay apricots?
Okay.
There we go. That's even less sweet than the raspberry.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
That's pleasant.
That is really nice. That's the least sweet one so far. Actually, which is crazy because it probably has the most sugar, 13 grams. Well, not the most, but more than the raspberry.
This one also has 13 grams.
That probably is
and
like 6.
This one has 7.
Called it.
No, that's nice,
Okay.
and it does. You can tell that it is made from fruit.
Yep.
That it has, like, bits of skin and stuff in it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pleasant.
Crofters.
Let me take a palate cleanser. Okay.
Okay.
Well, this you're supposed to spread, not.
Dunk.
Yeah.
I'll treat it like a
It's not cold.
cold
fruit
dunk.
dunk.
Fruit dunk. Fruit dunk.
Oh, it's probably quite a bit, but
Oh, that smells a little sweet now that we've broken. Okay.
yeah.
Let's see. Less sweet,
Mm-hmm.
more tart.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
It's really good.
Okay. Interesting. The texture throws me off because I want to see chunks, I want to see seeds, and I want to see whatever. This is a really weird, smooth, spread. But I do like the flavor.
I don't actually mind the texture on this one as much because.
As opposed to the other crofters?
Well, Well, because when I think of raspberries, I always think of like them having seeds, and obviously like they remove the seeds.
I guess apricots would have huge seeds, so you wouldn't get seeds in apricot.
Yeah, I mean we literally just had a whole bag of dried apricots. So
we did finish that bag today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of sad about that.
Okay. Grab your toast. We got Les Petits Toasts from, I think these are actually further, but it's like
No,
three little pigs brand.
Yeah, it has a cute little pig on it, and that's why we got it.
Is it just one pig on it? It's got three little pigs on it.
Are there?
Yeah.
Oh,
One pig
I
is
only
wearing...
saw the one that had a hat.
Yeah, one has... It's kind of a chef's hat. What are they cooking? It says Trois Petits Torcons. I don't know how to say pig in French.
Hopefully not.
Everything is French today.
Not bacon.
Not bacon. Well, that'd be weird and cannibalistic, wouldn't it? Did we say that on YouTube?
I don't know.
I just did. Sort of.
I think as long as it's not in the first 30 seconds, you're good.
You know, you might not be right. It does actually scan for the first 30 seconds. I think that's how the algorithm works.
Oh my gosh, why is this so hard?
Yeah, well, this one's also refrigerated, so it's probably a little stiffer. All right. Then
It just smells like sugar.
Yeah. That's not as egregious as the raspberry was.
It's not bad.
It's okay.
Just,
Huh.
it's just very sugary.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Do you have any more fun facts about crofters or anyone?
I had a lot.
You had a lot. Then you want to say, yeah, you guys go read it.
No, this
You
is
did
why.
all those notes for nothing.
Because I had to cherry pick what I thought would be interesting.
Cherry pick, like a raspberry. There's a pun in there somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, my hands are all like sticky now. I feel like a kid with jam hands.
Ew. Ew. Gross. All right.
You have a niece. She probably has jam hands.
And that's why I don't touch her.
That's why I don't hang out with her. Jam hands.
I mean, that she lives 3,000 miles away and doesn't speak in full sentences, to my knowledge.
Yeah, she'll get there.
I hope so. Like, it's supposed to, right?
I
All right.
hope so.
We're going to debate, perhaps even tobacco, and we'll be back. I'm joking on toast. In just a second. So we've had a lot of these. This is what, episode 68, 69, something like that? We've done a lot of these episodes. Sometimes there's an upset. Sometimes there's a disappointment.
Sometimes there's a dark horse that comes in and sweeps it, sweeps the race.
That's true, and that has nothing to do with the food that we're trying. Sometimes a horse just comes and sweeps through. But, I mean, exactly. But sometimes we get surprised, sometimes we get disappointed, sometimes there's a complete upset, and sometimes things are exactly as expected. And I think, for the most part, I had no idea what to think about crofters and this going into it. Oh, I see how you paired it off. Never mind, I thought you were putting it in order. I had no idea how I felt about crofters or Happy Mom before I got into this. I'm not saying it French, I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. But I knew this was going to suck. And, they were fine when we first had them initially. But once you compare them, you see how much worse they actually are. I think. Yeah. I think the raspberry was especially egregious.
It was just very, very, very sweet.
It's sweet. It tastes kind of fake.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because it doesn't even say it has like. It says it has cane sugar. I
mean, maybe it does, but who knows? I don't know. It doesn't taste as good. Maybe it's a lower quality cane sugar. Who knows?
Or maybe it's more sugar versus raspberries. No, but raspberries is the first ingredient. I don't know. See, maybe they didn't source their.
I got a big chunk of apricot in that.
Is that a good thing?
I'm not really complaining. It's just a lot of sugar. Anyway, so here's where I'm at. I think when we make the cake, we're going to make two. We're going to do a little bit of apricot. I got hands all jammy. Oh, God, I'm like
See, now you have jam hands. Here you go.
Thank you. So I think we'll probably do one of each, so people have their choice. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, I mean, because you really can't. It's like comparing apples to oranges, except you're comparing raspberries to apricots.
Yes. Well, then I also thought, is this like a Mandela effect? Because like most of the things that I think of, like even when I was thinking about making the cake, everyone's like, oh yeah, raspberry. I'm like, I could have sworn that I've definitely had it with apricot, and then maybe,
probably.
But then I don't know, because it could be like a Berenstain Bears kind of situation.
There's a lot of those Mandela effects.
There's a lot of them.
So, okay. So we're probably going to make at least one or two of each. We'll stack them into a cake, whatever. I have ideas about how I'd like this to present this.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, I think we can agree that these are crap. And even within these, I think the raspberry's a little more crap.
Yes.
Within these two. Now that brings us to these. I feel like, for me, both of the Crofters were better than each of their respective Good Moms.
No, I agree. I mean, I appreciate it.
They weren't bad. They weren't bad.
I like the texture, and the flavor is good, but it is a little bit too sweet.
Yes.
Especially for our needs.
I think given that we're putting it specifically in a sweet cake kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we want more of that.
I
Less
think
sweet.
you need a little bit more of the tartness and
Yes.
the natural flavors to kind of,
And admittedly,
eat
because
through.
it's a spread, it might actually go easier onto it, which is kind
Mhm.
of nice.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, if
Yeah,
you're going
this
to...
one was a little bit of a
Kind of a letdown.
chore. Well, no, just like a chore when we were trying to spread it out.
That was true. It was that as well. So now, regarding these though, like, I mean, they're both pretty decent across the board.
Mm-hmm.
If you're putting this on a peanut butter jelly sandwich, do you have a preference? Does that change your answer? If you're going to have it on like a toast and butter, is that going to change your answer?
I don't know. I think it may boil down to a texture thing for you.
But even then, it didn't really matter because if it's on something warm, if you spread this onto
Then I think this would be easier.
I mean, they're both going to be easier. But yeah, you're right. I mean, like once they're warm and they're in a sandwich or something, like if you take a English muffin with a bit of peanut butter and you spread that on it, or an English muffin with a bit of butter and you spread this on it.
But I think there's also a time and place of maybe you have a sweet tooth and you want to have that little bit of
And it is
extra.
only a little bit, but you're probably not going to buy both of these. So if you're going to buy one, what are you buying? Because you're not going to have, I assume you're not going to have 2 raspberry jams of different brands in your fridge.
Probably the Crofters. Just the only reason why I say it is because we do have a cherry preserve from Bon Maman, which I do like, but it takes me forever to get through it because I do think it is a little bit too sweet.
Okay. I'm on board. No, I mean, I'm fine with this. I don't have a preference over apricot. I mean, that's not true. Actually, I think
I like apricot more than I like
I do as well. It's less sweet, but that's why. Yeah. Okay. That's all I've got.
cost.
Oh yeah, you have to tell us how much it was. How much were these? First off, how much are these? Do you remember?
They were $3.99 each.
$3.99 for a Kroger, and that's one of the 2 Kroger brands. This is actually the private selection, which is a version of their whatever.
I believe it is. I think it's just kind of.
I think it's Kroger. We keep saying it's Kroger. I hope it's right. If not, I'm gonna check it. If not,
No, because it does say distributed by Kroger Company, Cincinnati, Ohio.
okay.
Product
If
of
I'm wrong,
Belgium.
we'll put it there somewhere, and we'll let you know.
Hmm.
Okay, now, how much are Good Moms?
Good Mom is $5.99.
Okay. And Crofters.
Crofters was $8.49.
So that would be another reason not to get Crofters.
Possibly.
The only
but
reason. So
part
13
of it
ounces.
could be because of the size, but it could also possibly be tariffs.
Could be tariffs. And this is also 16 and a half ounces. So you do get a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably still the most per ounce. But
if it's important to you for getting something organic, and if you want to know like where money's going towards for a company, maybe that also sways you. I don't know.
this is true too. So I mean, it does. I can support the cause. So
Also, it's so cute.
it is very cute. But I mean, if you get this, it's probably going to sit around your fridge for 2 or 3 months. Maybe then, good money.
Yeah.
So, is that everything?
That is all I have.
No more fun facts. No more unfun facts.
No.
Okay. Do not forget, you either, to follow us in all of these locations.
Well, since we're doing jam and jellies and preserves, oh my.
Okay.
You should have done like the little like splat emojis.
Do you have any idea how much work
Hey,
that
if
is?
you're watching this, just imagine it, okay? Just imagine.
I'll try. I'll see if I can do some
No,
kind
you
of
could
splat
just imagine it.
That's like an After Effects thing. I haven't touched After
That
Effects.
is fine. That's why you have power.
And I have less time to do this. It's not even the weekend. I have to figure it out.
Yeah, that's why you don't have to do it.
I have to do it. I gotta do it. We've been doing
I'm
one episode.
telling
We've been recording one episode a week now, so we're getting we're falling behind.
I'm telling them, use the power of imagination.
Imagination. Okay. What do they need to do?
You need to please comment and
That helps.
let us know what you would like us to try, or if
Yep.
there's like a specific, brand that we
Foods.
should check out.
Brands, board
Or
games,
games.
video games,
Yes, that would be fun too.
That'd be fun too. Okay, what else?
Please hit that like button and
How do you hit it? Show me how you hit it.
punch it.
And then the notification bell.
You tickle it.
Tickle the notification bell.
That sounds so wrong.
And it kind of is. Yeah, I think that's the point. I think that's everything.
I think so.
Okay.
Thank you for coming on this chaotic, fruit-filled journey with us today.
Yeah. I am Roberto.
And I'm Katie, and we hope to see you next time. Take care.
I had the sudden urge to be like, you killed my father. Roberto died.
He was Spanish.
I know, but